India's higher education system is once again in the middle of one of the most heated debates all over single regulations introduced by university grant commissions. What is the rule? Why is student, politician, and Supreme Court talking about it? Let's break it down in details. In January 2026, UGC notified a new set of regulations officially called the Promotions of Equity in Higher Education Institutions Regulations 2026, replacing the older framework of 2012 with an aim to curb caste-based discriminations in higher education institutions like university and colleges. These new regulations mandate university and colleges to set up equal opportunity cell, equity committees, grievance redressal mechanisms, and 24/7 reporting helplines for caste, gender, disabilities, and other biases. As per university grant commissions, these regulations are meant to create safe and more inclusive campus, especially for students from historically marginalized groups like scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes, because reported cases of caste-based discrimination has been rising in the recent years. And UGC argued that a stronger mechanism was very much needed to deal with such kind of discrimination in the university or colleges campus. Almost immediately after the rules were notified, the regulation sparked widespread controversy and protest across India. Critics argue that the new rule focuses on certain groups and does not include specific complaint mechanisms or representations for students from the general or unreserved category. Opponent says that the terms like discriminations are not clearly defined, which could lead to confusions and misuse, opening door to false or arbitrary complaints. Earlier, in the old framework, there was a penalties for malicious claim, but the new regulations has removed these penalties, making critics worry about misuse without accountability. On the other hand, the supporter of the UGC regulations argue that if properly implemented, these new regulations could have several benefits, such as it could act as a formal grievance mechanisms to report discrimination safely. There will be a dedicated equity committee to handle this issue professionally. Helplines and response protocol that did not exist at scale. Apart from that, inclusions of ST, SC, OBCs, gender minorities, and persons with disabilities under broader anti-discrimination law. For many, providing a structure to address bias is a step toward dignity and fairness on campus, especially for those who felt that previous framework were too weak or under-enforced. Some student groups and commentators argue that the new framework might deepen caste tensions rather than resolving them. Besides that, the critics also says that the systems like mandatory committee, reporting system, and oversight could interfere with how universities govern their own internal affairs. Because of this concern, petitions were filed in Supreme Court of India challenging the regulations in late January 2026. The court stated the implementations of key part of this rule, saying the language was vague and could be misused